So I'm thinking of career capitalism. I'm thinking of you as an individual. You have your career, you have your skills and your ability. And I think about myself with my skills and ability. I think about all the times where I've been promoted or been given serious bonuses for pieces of work that I've done and so on and so forth. And you yourself will be thinking about those sorts of things as well when you've done pieces of work for your employer and you said, hey, look, this is what I've produced, or you've done the work and you're waiting to be recognized, or you have to really show out and push yourself out to show that you've been recognized, or you do get a bonus, but it's not equivalent to the amount of value you've created. That's where I'm looking at things, this idea of career capitalism, where you have to say, with my career, here's my strategic path for it. When I produce something of value, when I do something which increases productivity or gives you that big chunk of value, you then need to look to putting that out there on the market, improving yourself and your brand. So that is using things like LinkedIn, using personal websites. That is about taking those things that you have done and shouting about it in the right spaces, keeping that ticking over so you actually know what your value is. So you can then bring that back to your business to have a real discussion on equal terms where you know how much what you've done is worth and how much it's worth to other businesses and to yours. Or you can look to find somewhere else to then improve your skills and drive yourself forward. The reason why I think this is so critical now is that how, again, in this post-COVID world, with this idea of how we're working from home or from different places and people want a better work-life balance, and the fact that how we finally accepted that you can work from anywhere, it then means that how us as citizens are effectively, we can sell our skills globally. We can bridge many gaps and get to many different markets. And that's where we have to compete in order to stay viable. So with that in mind, it's about taking yours, what you've done and sharing it with the world and getting an idea. Now, there are realities. Your employer, their HR departments, the governance level of your business, going up to things like, HMRC, going up to the government, to the Department of Work and Pensions, down to work benefits, all those sort of things, they all move at a much more glacial speed than where we are now. So at the moment now, you're probably thinking, hey, I should do 3 or 4 projects for 3 or 4 different employers, but yet they don't want to pay you on that sort of freelancing terms. They're thinking about things like IR35. They're thinking about the new tax things the government's trying to bring in, where they're trying to attack freelancers, which makes little sense because that's the way things are moving towards. Those are the things which might then hamper what you think you're able to do. But the reality is, any major change in any employment law comes from the mass movement of people, and most of these functions, these taxation functions, these restrictive ways of working where you're tied to one employer, is all against what your ability should be as an individual to make the most money possible or to get the most development possible or to then branch yourself out and reach your highest potential. Some people do want to have that, hey, here's my career path with a set employer. I think for many people under a certain age, a lifetime of an employer is something that doesn't exist. I think for a lot of folks, 2, 3 years max, and then you find your next jump is what the case is. And I think that 2, 3 year jump is going to be much shorter and it's probably more project based. So I'll say definitely bolster up your personal image, your personal brand. Make sure that you have your collection of your projects, your achievements, and make sure you're continually developing. And then you're putting that out there and you know what your value is on the market. And that is not only the national market, but the international market. And you should be willing to take up 2 or 3 different jobs or tasks at a particular time. Because what we can see when it comes to planning things further down the line, and again, I'm using my strategic mind on this, is that you may not have that same set government pension when you retire. You may not have a set retirement age. You may not have the benefits that you signed up for might not exist anymore. The taxes that you think you're going to pay or you may be paying are going to change massively. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that side.